There are lots of different kinds of information that Arduino can work with. So, for example, you can have a number like -7 or 36 or 2000. You could have a message that uses letters and spaces and punctuation marks, like "Hello world." You can have a number that has decimal places, like 83.4. And you can even have what are called Boolean values, which can only be equal to true or false. When you're creating variables, you need to create the right kind of variable to store the right kind of information. A number like -7, 36, or 2000 can be stored in a kind of variable called an int, spelled I-N-T. This is short for integer, which means positive or negative number with no decimal places. A text message with letters and spaces and punctuation and stuff like that can be stored in a variable called a string. A number with a decimal, like 83.4, can be stored in a variable called a float. And a value that can only be true or false can be stored in a variable called a Boolean, or BOOL for short. Arduino is very good at following the instructions you write in your code, but it's a little bit picky. If you write instructions that confuse it, it really will have trouble following them. So it's really important to give Arduino the right kind of variable that matches the information you want to store inside. Don't worry about remembering all of these different types of variables right now. When you start to use each of them, we'll go over them again. For now, just remember that you can use variables to store information, and the type of information needs to match the type of variable that you're going to store it inside.